All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to break down something pretty wild: how every simple click, like, and share you make online gets turned into incredibly powerful data. Data that's quietly shaping the world all around us. I mean, really think about that for a second. Every single time you interact on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, it's not just some throwaway moment. Nope, it's a data point. It's one little piece of a gigantic puzzle. And that's the big question, right? Who is actually collecting all of this information? And what on earth are they doing with it? What does it all mean for businesses, for governments, and yeah, for you? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into. So here's the game plan. We'll start with the data you create, then see how it magically becomes an insight. After that, we'll look at how the world is actually using it, walk through a quick real-life story, and finally, figure out why it's basically become our modern digital compass. Okay, first things first, let's get down to the basics. What exactly are we talking about when we say social media analytics, or as you'll often hear it, SMA? At its heart, SMA is all about taking that massive, chaotic mess of user-generated stuff, the comments, the posts, the videos, and finding the hidden patterns. It's about turning all that noise into a clear signal. And the whole point? To make way smarter, data-backed decisions. The process itself is pretty straightforward when you break it down. It all starts with data collection, hoovering up all those public interactions. Then comes the analysis, which is where the magic happens, where you spot trends and figure out how people are feeling. And finally, the most important part, turning all that analysis into an actionable insight. Basically, a clear answer to the question, okay, so what do we do now? So why is everyone so obsessed with this? Well, because SMA gives organizations a direct, live look into what the public is thinking and feeling. It means they can stop guessing and start knowing. And in today's world, that gives them a huge competitive advantage. All right, now for the really cool part. How is this stuff actually being used out there in the wild? Let's break down the 5 biggest ways it's changing the game. Seriously, from the ads you see in your feed to how a city responds to an earthquake, SMA is working behind the scenes. We're going to look at these 5 key areas: marketing, customer service, politics, disaster management, and business intelligence. First up, the obvious one, marketing. Companies are glued to SMA to see what kind of content you actually like. By tracking what gets shared and what gets ignored, they can tweak their campaigns. Even more important, they're constantly monitoring brand sentiment. Are people saying good things or bad things? So they can jump on a negative story before it goes viral. Next up is customer service. Have you ever complained to a company on Twitter and gotten a response in minutes? Yeah, that's their SMA strategy in action. Brands are now listening 24/7 for customer problems, which lets them swoop in, solve the issue super fast, and maybe even turn an angry customer into a happy one. Then there's politics. Political campaigns use SMA to feel the pulse of the nation. By analyzing all those online conversations, they can get a really clear picture of which issues voters actually care about, track how people feel about different candidates, and then tailor their message to hit just the right note. And here's where it gets really serious. SAM can be a literal lifesaver. During a natural disaster, like a hurricane or an earthquake, people post real-time updates from the ground. Emergency services can analyze all that data to pinpoint the hardest-hit areas, find people who are trapped or need help, and coordinate a way faster, more effective response. It's incredible. And finally, we have business intelligence. You see, companies aren't just listening to what you say about them. They're also listening to what you say about their competitors. This helps them spot the next big trend, find gaps in the market, and ultimately design and build better products that people actually want. So let's just take a breath here. To help you remember these 5 big applications, you can just think of MCPDB. It's kind of amazing when you step back and look at it, isn't it? The exact same technology can help a company launch a new sneaker, help a politician win an election, and help first responders save lives. The range is just staggering. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's see how this actually works with a quick story. Let's imagine a real-world scenario. So picture this. A tech company launches a new product they've been working on for years. They're super excited, but within hours, their Twitter feed is an explosion of angry comments. Sales flatline. It's a total PR nightmare waiting to happen. But instead of panicking, they fire up their SMA tools. The software instantly tears through thousands of tweets. It not only confirms the negative sentiment, yup, people are mad, but it pinpoints the exact reason why. There's a specific annoying bug in the software. Armed with that insight, the engineers get to work and push out a fix in record time. Then, the social media team gets back online, responds directly to all those unhappy customers, thanks them for the feedback, and tells them about the update. Boom. crisis averted. They just saved their brand's reputation and probably even won over some new loyal fans. That is the power of SMA in a nutshell. Okay, so let's zoom out one last time and think about the big picture. What's the main takeaway from all of this? Why does it matter so much? The bottom line is this: social media analytics isn't some niche tool just for marketers anymore. Not even close. It's a fundamental technology that's being used in almost every industry to make sense of the digital world, to turn all that online chatter into clear, usable intelligence. When you get right down to it, SMA has become a kind of modern digital compass. It's guiding massive decisions in business, in politics, and in public safety. It has totally changed how the most powerful organizations in the world listen to and talk with all of us. And that leaves us with one last, really important question to chew on. There is absolutely no doubt that all this data helps companies make better products and can even save lives. But as more and more of our digital footprint is being analyzed, what does that mean for our privacy? It's a tricky balance, and it's definitely something worth thinking about.